Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So, question. How do I sit there and put it? Is Sunny Scene starting to become a little exhausting to watch? Now, I say that as a Sunny fan. Um, back when I first started watching it in high school, Sunny stuck out like a sore thumb to me. Sunny and Jason. So I've been a fan of Sunny's for quite a while. And watching him lately, there's times where he just becomes a bit exhausting. Doesn't mean I'm not a fan of his, but like watching his scenes with Carly. I mean, let me ask you a question. Do I even have to sit there and say what they talked about? Or is it just pretty obvious at this point? And do I even have to sit there and say where it went? I really don't. And that's the sad thing, is because Sunny's scenes with Carly has been on repeat. And when I'm sitting there watching Sunny scenes, it's like I'm literally doing this. It's just beat for beat, same lines over and over again. Now, which makes this more like it adds on more to it, I guess. These beat for beats scenes is for the fact that he's spiraling. Hell, there's one point where even Carly, I pretty sure today Carly, because I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of just in and out, but I'm pretty sure Carly was asking Sonny, was he okay? For the beat to the beat to the same blah 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 blah. I didn't tell you because I'm not even gonna get into that because that's just annoying the hell out of me after a while. But there's one point where he comes in on a Honda Star and he's talking to Jennifer Smith. And he's pretty much like, yo, listen, that's cool. I'm gonna give you my private jet. You can go back to wherever you are. Just get the hell out of here. I don't want to sit there and focus on you. I just want to focus on my wife and my family and getting back together and blah 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 blah. There's a part where Jennifer was like, what? Like she just has that look like, what did I do to you? And granted, I don't know what she did to him. I don't know if she did anything to him, but he just seemed like he's extra. Oh, there's even one point where Laura asks more than once, "Are you okay?" It gets to a point where Sonny is spiraling out of control so bad that he actually comes to Curtis. He actually comes to Curtis' club and is like, "I want your club." I'm sorry, what? Like both Curtis and Marshall just look at him like, "That? How many of these shots did I actually have?" Because it's funny because I could have swore he just walked up to me and said, "I want your club." That's literally what he said. And then in the commercial, in the previews towards the next episode, there was actually one point where they stopped that. I know it was kind of weird, but there was one point where they would just end the episode and they wouldn't show previews. And it was the weirdest thing. And granted, this is at a time where I didn't have the internet, so I can just sit there and just look up Google and be like, why did he stop that for? So if anyone knows why they actually stopped doing the previews, because if you've been watching the show for a while, there was one point where they just stopped. Anyway, there was one point where, in the previews, he was like, I'm not leaving this place until I get this club. Now, I'm sitting there looking at him like, bro, are you kidding me? I mean, Joey was more or less kind of a, how do I sit there and say it? A pushover when it came towards Marshall. I'm assuming Marshall was the one that whooped his ass. But Sonny, you're kind of off your meds. You're not on your game really too well. I think Marshall may be able to take you. I mean, he literally, this guy. Okay, Joey was in the hospital. Okay, now I get it. When you're older, you're a lot slower. You're not as strong. But I mean, I don't know what he did to this man, but this man looked like he was in braces. Like Sonny, you might I wanna kind of walk away from this fight, bro. Just saying. Now Curtis and Marshall seem like they're getting along a lot better. Marshall comes to the club and Portia's like, oh, well, Curtis said that he needed his time and space. And I was like, sweetheart, why don't you let him talk before you just start opening up your mouth? I get the being protective, but you might want to slow down a little bit. And, Curtis, like, I asked him here and he was talking to Portia, I think before, I can't remember right. He was sitting there talking to her and sitting there talking about how, he almost died and, I might not have gotten another chance to really get to know him and connect with him. And so, he told Marshall more or less, he's like, listen, you got your secrets and it may be dangerous for me to sit there and find those out. So, for now, I'm going to just sit there and just take this one step at a time. So they sit down and they're drinking or whatever, and they're drinking some tequila. Um, Me drinking tequila never ends well, but they're having a good time. The bonding and everything like that. And, they're talking about the mob or whatever, as far as like something, whatever it was, Curtis is like, it may or may not have been your fault. It could have been out of your control. But they're talking about organized crime. And then Sonny walks over and he's just like, I want your club. I'm like, I mean, perfect timing, but damn, bro. Really? Sad. Once again, if Jason was there, yada, 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 yada. Maxie pissed me off today. Maxie pissed me off. And I guess in some sort of way, she somewhat apologized by Snitcher saying that, you two make a good team and, she's in good hands and she was with you and stuff like that. But let me tell you something. She walks in there. This is after Brooklyn managed to get Billy to sleep. Okay? I'm not a parent. I don't know how hard that is, but in stories I heard, it can be pretty a daunting task, to say the least. Maxie's arrogant ass walks in there, and it's like, at first she's like, oh, I want to take my baby, or whatever. Or I want my baby, or something like that. And they just both looked at her like, the hell is wrong with her? But she's like, no, that's not what I meant. She's talking about she just wants to sit there and visit, see her for a little bit. And Brooklyn's like, yeah, well, the thing is, I just did a lot of work to put her down, and it was kind of a lot. I don't need you walking back in there and screwing up what I just did, pretty much. And Maxie, ungrateful as, came out her mouth and was like, don't tell me what my daughter needs. And walks upstairs and what does she do? She wakes up the damn baby. I'm like, first of all, that comment was so bitchy. Okay? I'm just gonna say it. I understand that she misses her child and bonding with her and missing day by day steps and everything like that. I get that. But Brooklyn is, and I cannot believe I'm actually not defending her, but Brooklyn is literally going out her way, risking a lot, risking relationships with her family, um, the wrath of Valentine and everything else, and including Peter, to literally take care of your child. And that's what comes out of your mouth? Are you kidding me? Like I said, I'm not Brooklyn's biggest fan, but damn, girl, you really. With that comment alone, I was like, you aren't grateful. And then she came in there and she undid everything that Brooklyn was not trying to do as far as putting the baby to sleep and how long it took probably to do that. And you come in there and you're waking her up and you're trying to get her back to go to sleep, and then Brooklyn comes in there and puts her back to sleep, and then she just walks out of there ungrateful, just like, oh, but I couldn't put my baby back to sleep. I'm like, I get it, but a simple thank you and maybe an apology. Well, no, screw that. An apology would have sufficed. But no, she sits there and talks about how she's gonna call up the plan, and she's like, maybe I'll sit there and tell Austin, I'll include him into it, and they both think it's a bad idea, so she doesn't do it. And I'm just like, you know, when this all blows up in your face, and it will, and I don't want to sit there and say that it'll be good because it'll be bad for the baby, obviously, because Peter is a monster. But when this all blows up in her face, this could have been handled in such a different way. And I get it for drama, for story, and it needed to play out this way. The drama and everything like that, everything needed to happen for a reason. So I get that from a storyboard point of view. And I also get that from, well, YouTuber point of view. Because I wouldn't be sitting there having this much material. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can find something, but this is just golden. Sometimes I literally sit there. Sometimes I'll sit there and start watching an episode, or I'll look at it and be like, "Damn it, I'm gonna sit there and make this video, and I'll talk about this stuff for 15, 20 minutes. I don't know how I'm gonna do it." I literally thought about that today. Then I started watching it, and I saw Max, and it was like, "Well, thanks. Like, seriously, thank you." Because yeah, you make what I do so much more easier. Oh yeah, and Spencer was there, and Spencer had to leave. He was protective of his grandmother. He went outside when Sonny started talking about his business stuff. Um, there's a lot of bad blood between Jennifer and Laura. See them sniping at each other back and forth. Jennifer apologizes. Doesn't say why she's back. When they asked her, it was like, "Well, what are you doing back?" And Spencer like, "All right, what are you doing back?" And I put a question mark then, like, well, you didn't really tell us, but she did sit there and say something towards the end when she was in her limo talking to some other guy saying that there was going to be an opening, or talking to some other guy or woman, I have no idea who, about Sonny in his territory and, making a move or something like that. I'm not going to lie, I have no idea. It was something along those lines, um, which, honestly, to tell you the truth, now may be the perfect time because Sonny is so not on his game, and everyone is too mad that cares about him to really kind of see the difference in his tone. I mean, yeah, Laura asked a couple of times, Carly asked. Carly knows that Sonny is off his meds, or I'm going to assume that he's not taking his meds because she asked and he didn't really give her an answer. But, all that concern or all that worry that she would normally be putting into him can't happen because Sonny and his excuses, and I feel like at this point I should just start calling Sonny excuses. Just call him the excuse man, or something along those lines, because that's all he seems to do, you know. Which is why I didn't even have to sit there and say what they talked about because we already know. Even for the people who didn't watch it, already know. Oh, and Ned adopts Leo after Leo says that you're not my father. And then Ned has to sit and explain to him as far as like being a parent and different types of families and stuff like that, with two moms or two dads or one dad or one mom, and just kind of explains it to him. And then there were some points where Olivia was sitting there talking about her regret, and I'm gonna be honest, part of me just part of me didn't care because I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't entirely over her freak out and her meltdowns and her snapping at everyone for sitting there trying to help Leo. I get it. She made a mistake and blah 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 blah, and she hugged him and said she's never gonna do that again. But I'm gonna be honest, I just didn't care. I just didn't care. Partly because of that, partly because of her whole, well, let's be honest, all men are dog scene. So to be honest, that one, that character, that woman can kick rocks. Now Ned did, you know, Ned did offer, oh yeah, because they talked about them re-getting married, and he's gonna adopt Leo, which I'm still not 100% on that. Not about the Leo part, but about Olivia. But whatever. That's his choice and his mistake to make. And what else? Anyway, he did offer an olive branch to Austin and thanked him, regardless, despite how his family treated him, despite the fact that he nearly lost his career to help out Leo and he getting the best possible care that he needs, and that they're going to be having a wedding. He wants Austin to go, and Austin's just like, no, I have plans. AKA, I'm going to kick rocks. Um, but, Ned is like, listen, we'll be doing some other stuff, and maybe, you know, if you want to come through, you can come through. Now, Austin was talking to Britt, and they were talking about Maxie, and he's going to do whatever he can do to help. And I guess Britt, in some sort of ways, was having a bit of regret because she was busy helping Jason, and she was originally supposed to be there to deliver Maxie's baby, but now I sit there and think about that. Hmm. Anyway, things turned out the way they did, so it really doesn't matter. You know, So Jocelyn was in this episode today, and I'm partly sitting there wondering what she really needed. But um, tomorrow Christina's going to be in there, and the reason why I'm actually happy that she's going to be in there is because here's the thing: Jocelyn's going to sit there and take her mom's side, regardless of whatever the situation is, and that's pretty much what she was doing for the most part. And the reason why I sit there and say I'm happy that Christina's there because there was one point I think where Carly and Sunny were going to divorce last time. And it almost seemed, I don't remember if it was a scene with Christina and Jocelyn, but it really did seem like Christina was actually taking her dad's side, which is a milestone compared to how they first started. But it will be nice to sit there and actually have Christina there because Michael is taking Carly's side and Jocelyn's taking Carly's side. So at the very least, at least Christina will be sitting there taking Sunny's side. Since no one else seems to really, and granted, I understand. Here's the thing: what a couple of things that Carly did sit there and say was that she understood that Sonny fell in love with Nina. It couldn't have been helped, and she gets it. She doesn't like it. It sucks, but she gets it. She's not upset about that. But moreover, to the point, you know, those feelings are going to take time to go away. She's not going to sit there and stand there and watch Sonny get over a broken heart. Um, And you look at this whole Carly and Sunny side, and it's one of those things where it's like, people are taking sides. Um, and in the beginning, for the most part, I did take Carly's side. But there was a lot of times where I felt like some of the stuff that was going on with Carly was a little bit unreasonable, or some of the stuff that Carly was saying in the beginning was a little unreasonable. And at the end of the day, I kind of realized that there is really no sides. There's really, I mean, granted, Sunny is spiraling. And so he has that going on for him. Um, and he is back, and he did make a mistake. And people make mistakes. And I feel like the majority of the people are on Carly's side. And I try to look at this, not just as a review, but just as a fan. I try to look at this from both points. Um, so I feel like there's really, at the end of the day, it's not really about sides or anything like that. It's just about a couple who is dealing, well, with I wouldn't just say a broken marriage, but just marriageable problems, marital problems, married problems. Um, and that's kind of how I'm trying to look at it, instead of just taking her side or his side or whatever, you know. Oh, and the last part is Victor and Valentine actually bonding. This is after Victor, when Valentine came over there, Victor was like, "Yeah, I know what you're doing. I know you're only here spending time with me because Anna asked you to. But it's cool because we get to know each other. I get to, know you a little more, spend time with you, so it's cool. And I'm like, I'm so glad that that subplot is just kind of out the way because Victor's not an idiot, okay? He's not. And, Valentine thought he was playing it cool by spending time, but not being too interested, but not being too distant. And in the end, it really didn't matter. Um, so they started talking and bonding and stuff like that, over some apparently Russian drinks. Um, which are they real? Actually, are they real drinks? I'm not really a drink person as far as like knowing different type of drinks, but are they a real drink? Because I'll definitely try it. I don't know if I can handle it, but I will try it. Um, so they're drinking and talking and stuff like that, and they bring up Brooklyn as far as revenge and stuff. Um, you know, Valentine talks about how he still, has this bond with this child, even though that is not, they're not blood related, but he keeps a picture of a sonogram in his wallet. So Victor was like, listen, why don't you hand it to me? And, when it hurts less, I'll give it back to you. Valentine agrees. So they fancy drinks. Valentine heads out. And Victor is just finishing up with the tab or whatever. He knocks into Brooklyn. And he knocks into Maxie. Brooklyn. He knocks into Maxie. And her purse drops. And the sonogram drops. Now, this is after, you know, Maxie was sitting there telling Chase that she always carries a piece of her, piece of Luis with her, the sonogram. So now that the sonogram dropped on the ground, Victor's like, well, what are you doing with Brooklyn sonogram? Because that don't add up. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank everyone for watching. Be safe. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video.